Hey guys, so I had, after my little post about my video about greeting people, and then I commented on someone's thing saying I'd offer some free advice. I had probably about 20 messages from people asking me for help with their Malinois, and it was all kind of like the same sort of questions. So I thought what I'd do is I'd do a little video for you, just as like a little cheat sheet on what I did to raise my puppy and what I do to raise my clients' dogs. And stuff that you can potentially implement that you're not implementing already, so you can build some really nice, confident, balanced dogs that aren't reactive, that aren't running and chasing after people, bikes, cars, that aren't chewing up your house, that are properly mentally stimulated, and you're fulfilling their sort of like genetic needs as such. So a little background on me. So originally I was a personal trainer. I've been a personal trainer for about 15 years or so. Became a personal trainer when I was 18. We owned a gym. Unfortunately, we lost that gym in 2020. But around that time, about 2 years before we lost the gym, I really wanted a Belgian Malinois so badly. I'm really glad that I didn't get one at that point, because I had no idea on what I was getting myself into. But instead, I researched the breed as best as I could. So this was around 2017, should we say. I started really researching the breed, researching the breeders, having a look at like what kind of dog I wanted, and all that kinds of stuff. So anyway, fast forward that, we've researched some stuff. Over the last 7 or so years, I've pretty much been around the UK, sort of like meeting different people that have Malinois, seeing people work with high level Malinois, talking to other owners, breeders, all that kind of stuff, really kind of immersing myself into it, because I believe if you get this dog, it's a lifestyle, not just like a pet dog. You've got to almost make it your lifestyle to be around dogs, which is what I did. So we lost the gym in 2020. Around that time, I rehomed, or I rescued a working Cocker Spaniel, which I'm glad I did, because that was like my first insight into a very high drive dog, and he is very high drive, my Cocker, and that taught me a lot about that kind of a dog. So I started shadowing people, shadowing other trainers, because that's what I wanted to pursue when we lost the gym. So I worked online as a personal trainer for a bit, hated it, really only to get enough money so I could pursue this career. So now, over the last 3-4 months, I've actually properly started charging for it. So if you flash back, I've been shadowing people, working with people for free for the last 4 years. And then over the last sort of like 3-4 months, I've really been like, do you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna make this my business. So I've fallen into probably my ideal clients, because I have a Malinois and he's pretty well trained. He's 10 months old now, and they're just over there, just up to no good probably, because I'm not playing with them. I get a lot of comments, people saying how well trained he is and stuff like that. So I just thought I would offer some advice of what I'm doing with my clients, because I seem to have about 6 Malinois on my books at the moment. What I've done with them, what I've done with mine, and hopefully it can help you shape your dogs, and we can build them into really awesome dogs for you guys. Or might be a case of you might realize that this breed might be too much for you, and you might have to make other arrangements to make sure the dog has a more fulfilled life. So yeah, hope you enjoy it. So the first thing I did when I got my puppy is I started crate training. Now these dogs, they're obviously high drive working dogs. If you do not give them a job, they are going to want to become self-employed in some way. Their self-employment work is not going to be good work. It's going to be destructive work. It's going to be chewing your house, causing havoc and all that kinds of stuff. So I implemented the crate. Now the crate, people look to that sometimes as a punishment. The crate should never be a punishment. The crate is a safe space where your dog can switch off. And if you can't watch it, Rocky, this way. If you can't switch off, no, if you're out, sorry, and your dog's just out free roaming the house, you can choose something which can make you have a vet bill. So it's a safe space, a place where your dog can switch off. It's good for travel because typically you'd want to put them in a crate to travel for safety. If they get injured and they have to go to the vets and they have an expensive vet bill, that is important too. They're going to have to go into a crate, so you're preparing them for it. And I've got a video on my online channel about how to crate train your dog, so I'm not going to go through how to do it because you can just watch it from my channel, which is completely free. With the crate schedule, so you want your dog to be fully engaged with you, and you don't want them to find fun elsewhere, so away from you. So free roam in the house, if they find fun in like a pillow that they're destroying, they're finding fun away from you. You're then chasing them to try and get that pillow. You've then made it into a game, and then that game is running away from you versus running to you and playing with you. So my crate schedule for my dogs is 2 hours in the crate, 20 to 30 minutes out of that crate. 10 minutes of that time, I'm going to get them straight out of the crate. I'm going to slap a lead on them. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to wee and poo the dogs. Well, one at a time. I'll wee and poo them. They'll do their business in the garden, and then for that 10 to 20 minutes that we have left, it's just 100% attention on that dog. So no phones, no distractions, no drama. I'm just playing with that dog with a toy. I'm luring it with food. I'm building in a communication system. After I've done that, then they're going straight back in the crate, because dogs sleep. When they sleep in the crate and when they shut off, that's when they process everything that you've just taught them, and they're learning those things that you've just been through in that session. Now I'm rinsing and repeating that. Well, my Malin was 10 months. I'm pretty much still doing it now. He probably has a little bit more time out and about, but that's just because he's getting better. And I've sort of like upgraded him to an elevated bed in the house because I've taught him a place command. But in regards to crate training, we're looking at a 2 hours in, 20 to 30 minutes out, toilet in that time, food lure or play or build that communication system. Then back in the crate to switch off, rinse and repeat. So, food luring and hand feeding. A few of you have said you don't even know what that is when I've asked you the question about do you do it? So again, I have a video on my online channel all around hand feeding, how to hand feed your dog, why you should do it, and all that kinds of stuff. So I'm not going to go into that here. You can just check it out on my channel. Another thing that I'm getting from questions that I'm asking is that your dogs have access to their toys at any point in the day. Now, if you think about it like this, they can just take a toy and go away from you and play with it and destroy it or whatever. Then they're again finding fun away from you. So this engagement that you want from these dogs, which mainly we get these dogs because we see them on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram and all that kinds of stuff, doing all these really cool obedience and like working for the handler and stuff. You're not going to get that if your dog is finding fun away from you. You need to make it so they have no access to toys other than when they're playing with you. So in that 20 to 30 minutes that they're out of the crate to start with, you get a toy out and you play with them, and they're like, oh shit, when my mum or dad has a toy, you know, we're playing together. When we're playing with a toy, to start with, have your dog on a lead, so then you don't set them up to fail. So that's a big thing as well that we'll move into, that I'm trying to cover on this really quick video, is you should only be setting your dog up for success. So any situation that you can think of that you take your dog into, you want it to be a successful situation. So if you're playing with your dog, boys, this way. if you're playing with your dog with a toy, I'd have that dog on a lead. The reason I'd have it on a lead is because if you're playing fetch and you expect that dog to run back to you, that dog's going to dart it the other direction. It can actually make the choice to go away, and you can't stop it from making that choice to go away. So having that lead, you can be reeling that dog into you, so it has no option but to come back to you and play. And then eventually over time you condition that into the dog, and then the dog knows that you are where the party is at. Now, playing with your dog. So there is a way that you should play with your dog, and again, I'm not going to go into that. Venom, this way. Rocky, this way. There is a way that you should play with your dogs, and I'm not going to go into that because I, again, have a video on my channel about it that teaches you how to play. So give it a watch, and yeah, just play with your dogs like that. I think a lot of people make it about just the toy, and they just work for the toy, but you want to almost be, as the handler, connected to that toy. You want to set your dog up for success. You want to build confidence with your dog. So you want your dog to win. You want to make your dog win, build that confidence, possess that toy a little bit, figure out as you're playing with that dog. I just use like the marker of when's his tail wagging the most. If his tail's wagging the most, then I know he's enjoying a certain thing that I do. So with Venom, my Malinois, he likes it when I'm down on my knees playing tug with him versus standing up over him. And I don't know if it's more intimidating with me standing up over him or not. Like, so yeah, so I get on my knees, and I use that tug, and then eventually over that session I progress up to my feet and he's all right with it. But if I start on my feet over him, he's not as immersed into it as if he is if I'm knelt down. So that's how I play with him, and that's how we get some good obedience and good behavior from him. This way. So yeah, so there's a whole video of play on my video channel. So yeah, have a little look at it, see if you like it, and go from there. So yeah, that is the basics of what I get my clients to do with their Malinois, what I've done with my Malinois, and how like we can stop these dogs from being reactive and just anxious buggers, really. When you get these dogs, do your actual research. Like, just finding a backyard breeder or going on Gumtree to get your dog's probably not the way to go about it, because you know, if the parents are anxious and reactive, your puppy's probably going to be anxious and reactive and scared, and you don't really want a scared dog. A scared dog's harder to train. So I would look for breeders, really research it, research the kind of breeder that you want. So as an example, Venom's from Louth Canine. I really wanted a Le Roquemort dog, but they're a bit too psychotic for me as like a first time Malinois owner. Even though I've done 7 odd years of research and working with them and stuff like that, I have a 1-year-old and a 5-year-old. So I still wanted one that would bite stuff and come from like a security line sort of thing, but definitely lower drive than what a Le Roquemort dog would be. That will be what I will get next when I have a bit more experience. So yeah, really look into the breed, the breeder. Do your research. Don't just get one based off the fact that you've seen one walk backwards on TikTok or jump over a 10-foot wall, because that takes a lot of time. And also, these dogs, they will literally do anything for you. So if you want them to like run off a cliff and catch a ball, they'll do that, and they'll hurt themselves and they'll give you a massive vet bill. So even with doing the cool stuff, you need to have safety measures in place. You need to make sure that everything you do is the same every time. Any default in your body language, then they could mess up and hurt themselves. So there's a lot around training one of these. They're super intelligent. They're one of the most intelligent dog breeds, but they're also really good at picking up bad habits if you're not consistent and you're not like, yeah, if you're not consistent and you're not dog savvy enough, they're going to pick up bad habits from you. And as I say, they're going to try and become self-employed. They're going to try and find a loophole in everything you do. Yeah, they're easy to train. Yeah, you can get them to do lots of cool tricks and all that kinds of stuff, but equally they can also learn to do bad stuff quite fast as well if you're not on it. So yeah, there's a little breakdown of Malinois and how I've trained them and how I train my puppy and stuff like that. And I just really hope that I can help you guys, or at least set you guys off on the right foot when you have them. If you are 10 months in and you've messaged me and you said your dog's completely out of control and it's reactive and all that kinds of stuff, just start from the beginning. Start everything from what I've said in this video. So there's going to be periods like if they are reactive to cars, people, all that kinds of stuff. This is a really handy place to use food for that, or try and introduce some play. A stressed dog won't play, they will take food, so it might be hard to play with them to start with, but it's like going to the gym. So to be classed as strong, we'll use a deadlift as an example. You need a 2 times body weight deadlift to be classed as strong, let's say. Now, if I'm a first time gym goer, I'm not going to go to the gym and load 200 kilos on the bar and try and lift it, because I'll probably slip a disc and cause myself an injury. I need to build up to that over time. I need to start with building my ligaments and connective tissues, making sure they're strong to support weight, to make sure my core works, my form. I need to get enough reps in the bank, volume of that lift, so it becomes like second nature to me before I can start progressing and getting stronger. And that's the same when you're trying to take a dog into these new situations. If you just had your dog and it was like a fresh dog, and then you just went straight into the center of town where you got buses, trains, all that kinds of stuff, and you're expecting it to do stuff, it's probably going to freak out and you're probably not going to get a good reaction from it. So you need to go, I always go in my house, we start with tricks and treats in the house. Then what I'll do is I'll layer in noises in the house. So traffic noise I'll have playing on my Alexa, squeaky toys, any kind of noise that you think they're going to come into contact with, doorbells, blah, 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 blah. That's all playing when I'm training them in my house. Then we're going to progress to outside in the garden. Similar things, I'll have stuff playing on my phone, or I'll occasionally like throw stuff on the floor that they shouldn't have, and then I'll train them around that. Then we go, so from the garden to a field, then we go from the field to like car parks, shops, blah, blah, blah. Then I'll go to like shops and I'll go out to the forest or whatever, because I'm in Southampton, I've got the New Forest, we've got cows, horses, all that kinds of stuff. So a lot of distractions there. And you gradually just build it up until their engagement is fully on you. And then you can get to that 200 kilo deadlift as such, which for them is being able to take them anywhere and they're engaged with you, focused on you. And yeah, just you have a confident, balanced dog that you know is not going to freak out with any kind of situational change. So yeah, I hope this helps. It's a bit of a long video, it's supposed to be a short video, but if you've got like 20 minutes of time, have a little watch, take it in. If you've got any questions, I'm always happy to help. So yeah, just drop me a message. I'm always happy to offer loads of free advice. And if you do decide you want to work with me, amazing. If not, at least I have helped you in some way with your dog to help build a better path for the future for you both.